Greetings to you wherever you are in this world. This is Michelle Strickland, and I'm coming to you today with my daily theology lesson. I'll be coming out of the Quran today. I just want to say this. I want to do, moment of silence for everyone who's being affected by conflicts all over the world. I want us to all pray for peace on this earth, everywhere. Let's pray for peace, please. We got to stand up and let our voices be heard. We got to stand up for righteousness, justice, peace, happiness, joy. I'm not minimizing anyone's pain on this earth, so I know people are being devastated, and it makes me sad and I feel sorrowful for that. But in the midst of all of that, we cannot give up our human spirit. We cannot. We can't. Fight. Stand up. Start with yourself. Don't allow yourself to be crushed and collapsed to where you're paralyzed. You must keep going. You must. Find some hope from down deep inside somewhere and keep going. Just take one step at a time. Just do it like that. If you can only do a few steps, then be thankful for that. But get up. All you evil people out there, doom and gloomers, profiting off of death. Profiting off of death. There's a reward for you too. There's a reward for you too. God is watching you. He will talk to you about it. Sometimes he let us add unto our sin so that we have more to account for. So you best think of that. All of you who are architects of disaster, disaster's coming for you. Be looking. Be looking. If you know that's all you've been, and that's what you do. We want peace on earth, goodwill toward men. No one should have to be devastated and running around here in fear just because they are alive. There's something wrong with that. I'm going to stand up for truth and justice, righteousness, in spite of my faults, which I have many, but in spite of them. I'm going to stand up for the poor people who are afraid to stand up to you bullies. I haven't forgot you bullies and bad guys. I haven't done a bullies and bad guys alert this week. I think I might need to do a video about that, just to remind you. I haven't forgot about the bullies and bad guys right here in my town. Right, Kansas City, Missouri. Right. Bullies and bad guys right here in my town. They want to try to run it now. They running. The bullies and bad guys running now because they know they can. But what you running for, bullies and bad guys? What you running for? Reckoning day, baby. People are going to be hunted down. Going to be hunted down like you had me out there in them streets. Hunting me down. By myself. No protection. Your turn. I'm reading out of the Quran. It's a very short text. It's chapter 28, the narrative, and it's out of section 1, verse 1 through 13. Okay? To make this really short. I just want to let everybody know I'm thankful that God allowed me to wake up today to do this. And this is my theology lesson. I'm recording it and releasing it because maybe somebody can get something out of it. This is just my study lesson. If you have any comments about the chapter, please feel free to send them to me. I'm a student. I'm just a student. I'm just learning. So I'm open to hear whatever you have to say. I just want to thank God for allowing me to be here today, to do this again. It's a blessing for me to come before you. And I just hope if I could just reach one person out there, and that one person could reach one person, and that one person could reach one person, one person at a time. One person at a time. I'm blessed. I'm so blessed. I feel thankful. And I'm happy. I love God. Even in my darkest moments, I still love Him. And I'm thankful. And I'm joyous. And all of those things. All of those beautiful things. I have peace. I have peace. Most of the time. And when I leave the house, go downtown, it's different. I have to be on guard. But when I'm at home, quiet, very quiet in my house. I'm blessed. I'm so thankful. And I want everyone to be blessed like I am. Section 1, the history of Moses. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and Merciful. This is a word I don't know. I got to look at it for a second. But not. Hearing, knowing God. But not. I'm not sure about that. I'm going to have to look it up. Forgive me if I pronounce it wrong. These are the verses of the book that makes manifest. We recite to thee the story of Moses and Pharaoh with truth for a people who believe. Okay, they're talking about who? Moses in the where? Old Testament. What? In the where? Quran. And Pharaoh where? In the where? The Old Testament. In the where? The first books, the first few books and things of the where? The Bible? Them under the where who? Them Hebrews. Now if I'm wrong, somebody correct me, please. Surely Pharaoh exalted himself in the land and made his people into parties, weakening one party from among them. He slandered their sons and let their women live. Surely he was one of the mischief makers. If you're a mischief maker, you're a mischief maker. Don't matter who you are. If you're a mischief maker in any religion or any belief, you're a mischief maker. Same thing today. And he was a high level mischief maker. Right, high level mischief makers. Huh? Yeah, you can have high position and be mischief makers. Right, y'all know, don't you, here in this city, huh? Huh? Some of you. Not all, some. They're letting you get away, though. Your friends are letting you get away with it, so that's guilty by association, kind of. That's how I look at it. That's how y'all try to lump me. So don't make it fair, do it. Don't make it fair, do it. That's how y'all treated me. It don't sound, now when it's happening to you, it's not fair, is it? But as long as it's somebody else, oh, that's okay, because you can't feel it. And we desire to bestow a favor upon those who were deemed weak in the land, and to make them the leaders, and to make them the heirs. So the weak people are they're saying, oh, really? They're saying the weak people is the leaders? That's what they're saying. Not everybody, because I know there's some good leaders here in this town. I know there are. I know there are. I'm not talking about you. And you know who you are if you hear this. And you know, I know. I can tell who's good and who's not. The Spirit tells me. And to grant them power in the land, and to make Pharaoh and Haman and their hosts see from them what they feared. Bad guys and bullies at the highest level. Bad guys and bullies at the highest level. Come on now. 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 We know we have them, don't we? Even today, we know we have them, don't we? At the highest level, running some stuff. That's what the word is saying. Let's talk the truth. What's new? What's new? Huh? Even today. Even today. Just because you have high level doesn't make you good. Because some of you know you crooked. Right. Bullies and bad guys. Trying to run, trying to hide and stuff. Don't you feel embarrassed for yourself for doing that? When you go to work and stuff like that, and people know what you did, don't you feel embarrassed, kind of? You should feel ashamed for yourself. You think people look kindly on you for that? I don't know how you live with yourselves. I don't. And we revealed to Moses' mother, saying, give him suck. Then when thou fearest for him, cast him into the river and fear not, nor grieve. Surely we shall bring him back to thee and make him one of the messengers. Boom! Okay, this is the Quran, y'all. Talk about when she breastfed her baby. I breastfed both of my boys. Sure did. But then she had to, do you know how hard that would be to let your child go? But to save him? But they came back as leaders. I had to let my sons go too when they rebelled though. In their late teenage years. I had to release my sons over to God. Yeah, because they were rebellious. And that was the hardest thing I did, was just release them. But he covered them. And now they're leaders. Because I gave them over to him. I had to do that symbolically. I did. Because my sons they clown. My sons clown too. And they had to feel their consequence. I didn't let my sons had to feel their consequence. I let them feel it because I wanted them to be great. That's the only way sometimes. You got to let people feel it when they're making mistakes. When you buffer people from their mistakes, they can't feel it, so they're going to keep on. And I said, nah, my boys know. So whatever happens, happens. We're going to see. They listened to me after that. After they went through some years of dealing with their consequence behind their rebellion. For me, about me. They were mad. My sons were mad at me for some years behind it. But they became, they're strong men now. They became strong men because I warned people that when they got into the situation, I told the other people that was involved in their life to stay out of it and let them feel it. I almost had to threaten them. It was very, very troublesome times because people wanted to override how I felt about how they should be dealt with. And they finally listened to me, because my sons, we went back and forth between here and where my ex-husband was at. Is at the area down there where he's at. So they were raised in different, they went back and forth between me and their dad, my ex. It was some hard lessons for them. But I didn't play with them. When they were around me, they had to produce. And they knew that. They had to follow instructions and all of that. They had disciplined behavior. But now they're disciplined people. Because they went through whatever they had to go through behind their bad behavior. And God dealt with them. And I told them, go through it. And then I gave them a suggestion. So I said, now do this. And when they did, because they usually did listen to me. But the few times they didn't, the last times they didn't, they fell into problems with their own lives for a while. But then when they started coming out of it, I said, now listen to me. Do this time. And they did it. When they did that, their life has been they've been nowhere but up. And now they listen to me when I give them suggestions. I give them some suggestions about how to, make money. And they listen to me. Now they're up here. They're way above me. But we got to let people feel their consequence. I have to feel my consequence. Why shouldn't anybody else have to feel their consequence? That's not right. If you don't want all that, then don't do it. whatever it is to get you there. Simple as that. I had to deal with my consequence for whatever I did, my part I played in living. I do. I don't try to hide that, but mostly I try to be on track. I don't get a pass, so why should anybody else? I'm just living a human experience like everybody. Pharaoh's people took him up that he might be an enemy and a grief for them. Surely Pharaoh and Haman and their hosts were wrongdoers. So, they took Moses and, made him sorrowful. God called them mischief doers, wrongdoers. And Pharaoh's wife said, a refreshment of the eye to me and to thee, slay him not. Maybe he will be useful to us, or we may take him for a son. And they perceived not. So Pharaoh's wife had some compassion. She had compassion over that baby. Yes, she did. She loved that baby. That Pharaoh's wife loved that baby. That's kind of how I felt coming up, Being adopted. My story is very complicated. Messy. I'll say messy. How about that? But I was blessed once my dad came and got me out of the hospital when I was 3 days old. I mean, it's a mess, but I'm still here. It's not my fault. It is not my fault. So, I was raised by a woman that wasn't my mom, but I love her. I loved her. I love her. She was the best thing that could ever happen to me. I tell my story. I got a lot. It's a lot to me, and people just want to dig at me and treat me like I've worked for everything I have. My family had a good work ethic. They were blue collar people. We worked hard for everything we have. I did. I have. I don't have much. I'm poor, but I try to manage what I have correctly, and I live a certain way. I don't live no wild lifestyle, but I'm not into that anyway. People just don't understand what they do. Sometimes the very people that you try to hurt the worst are the ones that need to be hurt the least. Especially when they're just minding their business, loving God, and just trying to help other poor people. It's just sad. So the Pharaoh's wife loved that baby. And the heart of Moses' mother was free from anxiety. So his real mom found out that the baby was going to be okay. So my real mom, I lived in the same town as them, so she knew I was okay when my dad came and got me. She was able to see, I'm sure, or hear. I know she heard about me as I grew up because there were people that knew me, Most of the town, black people knew me because there wasn't that many of us, So they knew me, and I did great things when I was young. Very, very big. And I'll talk about those things someday. But I'm blessed. So I know what it's like. To be a ward of a state. She would almost have disclosed it had we not strengthened her heart so that she might be of the believers. And she said to his sister, follow him up. So Moses' sister. So she watched him from a distance while they perceived not. So the sister was keeping an eye too, They was in the same area, So they got to watch Moses grow up. And my real family, my other side of my family got to watch me grow up. And they interacted with me. I didn't know who they were. And I still don't know all of them. I just know a few. And they got to watch me grow up. So I'm sure they felt pleasure in seeing that I was being treated very well. I was blessed. My mother that raised me up would have clothes made for me. I had the best. She gave me the best of everything anything that you can have. My relatives on my dad's side, they loved me dearly, dearly. It was my birth was messy. The events around my birth is messy. But I'm thankful I'm still here, you know. The whispering, people whispering whenever I'd be around, you know. And when you're little, you can tell what stuff is going on. You may not know what they're saying, but you know when people are talking about you. Because I was that child, the little bastard child, the little mama's baby, daddy maybe babies. My younger son looks just like my dad. He looked just like him when he was his age. I just saw the photos of him when he was back in like a teenager. My dad, a year ago. And I almost lost my breath when I saw him from that age. And then my son, I was, a shock. That was very much of a shock. It was messy. My birth was messy. I've been living into that bubble my whole life. And people think I'm bad, but they treat me badly. They don't mind treating me badly. They feel like they have a license to treat me badly. When I don't even know. A lot of times I don't even know people. They just come out of nowhere and just do me in. I don't even know these people. I'm like, what the world? I mean, literally. And she said to his sister, follow him up. So she watched him from a distance while they perceived not. And we did not allow him to suck before. So she said, shall I point out to you the people of a house who will bring him up for you, and they will wish him well. So the sister, I guess it sounds like the sister was talking to the mom or the family or somebody, and was saying, do you want me to point out where the baby's at, where my brother's at, your child? So he gave him back to his mother, that her eye might be refreshed, and that she might not grieve, and that she might know that the promise of Allah is true, but most of them know not. So I think Moses ended up going back to his real mom at the end when all that madness happened with Pharaoh. But that's a whole other story for another day. We all know that, how that ended, most of us. Anyway, this is our message for today. Me talking was longer than the actual chapter of the Quran. I just want you to know that I'm here to be a mentor for you. And that if you have any questions or you need to reach out to anyone, I left 2 email addresses in the description section of my profile. You can send me an email. If you need somebody to talk to, leave me your number. If you can explain who you are, and I will get back to you. I want you to remember to smile this day anyway, and reach out to one person at a time. One person at a time. One person at a time. Okay?